Planning your trip to London the wrong way looks like this. You land at the wrong airport, you stay in the wrong neighborhood, and you go at the wrong time of year. And trust me, I've made these mistakes and many more, and I'm here to help you avoid any of these planning issues. Hi, I'm Nick with The Tour Guy, a tour operator that offers experiences in all of Europe's major cities, including London. Typically, you'll find me behind the camera. I spent most of my adult life traveling the world, learning the best ways to get from point A to point B, and today I want to give you the proven formula to make sure you're planning London the right way. And please make sure you watch the video the whole way to the end, because we have some tips that even the most seasoned of travelers get wrong, and it could be the make or break moment of your London trip. London's got a really bad reputation for being rainy, for cold, for being overcast, but let me break it to you, New York City actually gets more rain per year than London does. Shocking, right? But that leads us into our very first question: when should you go to London? If I had to narrow it in, I would say that May or September is the best time to go to London. You're gonna have milder weather, you're gonna have more sun, and both times of year, you're gonna have plenty of things to do. If it's your first time going to London, September is best. Some of the must-see attractions are seasonal. Don't make the mistake of going in the middle of winter only to find out that Buckingham Palace is closed. Yeah, one of the main attractions, Buckingham Palace, does close its doors late September. The second best time to go is in the spring. Between April and June, you'll find fairer weather, you'll find sunny skies, and the flower will be in bloom. If you decide to go in the summer between July and August, just know there's going to be larger crowds and higher prices. The upside being, if you're a fan of the heat, you don't have to pack as many outer layers. The sweet spot is really going to be going between September and October during shoulder season. There's going to be fewer crowds in general, but the weather is still going to be in your favor. You're typically going to have a range from about 55 degrees Fahrenheit to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, but you will experience a little bit more cloud coverage than the summer. If you travel to London between November and February, the winter months, you're going to experience some festivities. You're going to see Christmas lights on Oxford Street. You're going to experience shorter days, but overall fewer crowds. Surprisingly, London doesn't get all that cold, so the winter might be a good time to travel for some folks, and it's very, very rare to see a heavy accumulation of snow on the ground. So this might actually be a really good time of year to travel for some people, depending on your situation. And if you're a fan of nightlife, make sure you're there on a Thursday, because work remote Fridays has become pretty commonplace in London, meaning that Thursday nights have become the big night to go out. And please do not put off any planning to the last minute. You want to get everything done 3 to 6 months in advance, especially if you're coming in the summer. Mega monuments, the best tours, shows, hotels, anything you're going to be wanting to do is going to be booked up well in advance. And London has so much to offer. Do not cut yourself short. Do not mess up your trip. Make sure you book well in advance. If you're flying in, you're going to be landing at one of the 4 major airports outside of London. You have Heathrow, Gatwick, Stansted, or Luton. The main thing you need to know is that Heathrow, Gatwick, and Stansted are connected to London easily by train. Pro tip, do not use the currency exchanges inside the airport. You'll face a higher exchange rate, not in your favor. So I would wait until you got to the city center and use an ATM and your debit card there. Additionally, don't bother getting a SIM card at the airport. There are better options that we'll explain later in the video. What to see and do. London works best in threes: a tour, a taste, and time to just get lost. On day 1, we have the Tower of London and Borough Market. Start with the biggest and baddest, the Tower of London, where kings lost their minds, queens lost their head, and the crown jewels are still under heavy guard. Book a guided tour to get past the lines and right into the good stuff, like the path Anne Boleyn walked to her execution, where the princes in the tower vanished, and the reason the ravens never leave. Get the lore from a Beefeater who still lives in the tower, or book the after-hours tour to see the 700-year-old ceremony of the keys, a ritual that most will never get the chance to see. And then end your day at Borough Market, where there's oysters, Scotch eggs, cheese, and viral chocolate-covered strawberries. The biggest mistake I see time and time again is people thinking this is just another market. I promise you it's not. It's an unexpected highlight that feels like entering the set for Harry Potter. And I promise you're going to want to come with a big appetite because the options feel endless. Day 2, Westminster and changing of the guard. Your second day is for London's trifecta: Big Ben, Parliament, and Westminster Abbey. Here's an insider tip. The Abbey is closed on Sundays, and Parliament only opens for tours when it's out of season. Seeing the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace is a must, but it only runs on certain days: Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays year-round, and then daily in June and July. Then head underground into Churchill's War Rooms, the bunker where World War II was directed in secret. You'll be amazed to see that the maps, phones, and teacups sit exactly where they did the day the war ended. It's the closest thing you'll get to time travel. Following that, hit up the National Gallery and British Museums. Both are free, but a guide takes you straight to the highlights: Van Gogh's sunflowers, the Rosetta Stone, Sutton Hoo treasures, and Egyptian mummies. End the day where locals go, Chinatown. Get some dim sum and roast duck. Fish and chips are great, but London has a diverse food scene, so make sure to check it all out. Day 3, we're going to check out Windsor and Stonehenge. For first timers, take a beat from the city and escape to Windsor Castle or test conspiracy theories at Stonehenge. At Windsor Castle, you'll see the state apartments, St. George's Chapel, and the spot where Harry and Meghan tied the knot. At Stonehenge, you'll be surprised to learn that the stones are older than the pyramids, and the stones were dragged there by pure manpower. By who? No one really knows. That's what makes it fascinating. Been there, done that? Not your first time? Hit up Oxford, Bath, or Harry Potter Studios. These places are packed with history, magic, and escape from reality. Oxford is one of the world's oldest universities. It offers the Bodleian Library where Harry Potter was filmed, as well as pubs where C.S. Lewis and Tolkien drank. Visit Bath for some Jane Austen charm and some 2,000-year-old Roman baths. At Harry Potter Studios, you're going to see the Great Hall, Diagon Alley, and the real film sets where they shot the movies. Either way, you'll head back to London for afternoon tea. Think scones, clotted cream, and a steaming pot of Earl Grey to warm your bones. On day 4, let's hit up some museums and hidden gems. I recommend visiting the Victoria and Albert Museum or having a picnic in Hyde Park. The entrance is free to the museum, but a guide makes all the difference between enjoying your visit or wandering aimlessly. End your day by strolling Kensington Gardens and enjoy one of London's greatest traditions, high tea. Where you stay in London changes everything about your trip, so let me make this easy for you. If you're looking for the absolute best part of London to stay in, without a doubt, it's Mayfair. Literally 100% of people that we surveyed said that it is the best part of London. It's well connected, it's got amazing nightlife, amazing restaurants, amazing accommodations. Now, if you want something that's nice but not as expensive as Mayfair, I would check out the neighborhoods that surround it. You have Marylebone, you have Fitzrovia, and you have Soho. A lot of the same attractions, but just a little bit less on the price. If you're looking for a more economic option, I would check out the City of London and Whitechapel. It's basically anywhere near St. Paul's Cathedral and the Tower of London. In this area, you're going to find a lot of nice but fairly priced hotels, and the real selling point is that this area is connected by metro. If you want fancy with less crowds, big hotels, and lots of shopping, definitely check out Chelsea. If you want more in-depth information about any of these areas, or you want specific hotel recommendations, definitely check out the link below, or feel free to Google the tour guide Where to Stay London, and you'll find an amazing article written by our thoughtful travel experts. Have no fear, getting around London is pretty straightforward. Use your map app of choice, Google Maps or Apple Maps, and then click the train. This gives you real-time updates and the fastest routes. Paying for your fares is super easy as well. All you have to do is set up Apple Pay before you go so you don't have to buy an Oyster card. All you do is tap when you get on and tap when you get off. Be sure you use the same card when you get off, or else they'll charge you the max fee. It's good to have Apple Pay set up on your phone and be comfortable with it before you leave. That way, in case you run out of cash or your credit card doesn't work for some reason, you can have another option to pay. And if you don't feel like using the train, a great alternative is to use Uber. It's going to be fairly priced and it's going to be readily accessible throughout the city. Pro tip, if you're on the escalator, make sure to stand on the right side. The left side is for walking, and while the British are very polite, you might hear a comment or two if you're standing in the wrong place. You're gonna have 2 packing lists for this trip, one for your suitcase and one for the apps on your phone. If you have T-Mobile, you're all set due to the international roaming included in your plan. If you don't have T-Mobile, grab an eSIM. Links to those in the description. Next thing you're gonna need is Apple or Google Maps. Following that, you're gonna need WhatsApp. Almost all of Europe uses this for texting, and you can also make calls on Wi-Fi. Make sure to download the Uber app, but you probably already have this. And lastly, make sure your Apple Wallet is set up and updated with at least a few different payment methods. Next up is your suitcase. In London, you can experience 4 seasons in one day. The trick to getting around this is packing layers. Rule number 1 is that everything should be stylish. Not because you're going to London, but because you're leaving your house. You're gonna want things like a semi-waterproof jacket, but again, stylish. You're gonna want comfortable shoes, but not so comfortable that they are dorky. You're gonna need a power adapter for sure, but also make sure you have extra charging cables for your phones. You're gonna want a small day bag, and fanny packs are cool again, so not a bad idea for roaming around. Make sure to bring a sweater, gloves, and other thin layers that you can put on and remove throughout the day. And lastly, you're gonna want lots of money because it's London. You're gonna want a credit card and a debit card. If you need cash, you can go to an ATM around the city, but also by now, almost everywhere accepts credit cards or tap to pay. If you forget something, it's gonna be okay. It's almost better to pack light than to overpack here. And if you need something while you're there, there's gonna be plenty of stores to buy it from. London's food scene is genuinely incredible. Don't buy into the negative stereotypes or the bad reputation. I will say, however, you definitely need to get reservations ahead of time because most of the best places fill up pretty quickly and you don't want to be wandering around looking for an open table on your vacation. There's some really cool restaurants in London. Awong, Dish Room, Los Mochis. You'll definitely want to call ahead of these places, but if you can't get in there, there's plenty of other places we love, and as always, we left a link in the description. I'm not really a pub person myself, but when you're in London, it's kind of akin to a burger spot or some barbecue, and I definitely recommend checking them out. If you want some specific recommendations on some good pubs, we have a link below in the description. And I'm sure you're wondering about gratuity. Yes, tipping is a thing in England, but it's only 10 to 12% if service isn't already included in the bill. And a great travel hack is to join a food tour your first day. Yes, we got them. It is the best way to get the rundown on a local food scene, but more importantly, you get to ask your tour guide any questions you want about the city. They know everything about the latest updates, the coolest things to see, things that might be closed down. It is an unbelievable resource. So there you go. That's how to plan London like a pro. It's not all just Buckingham Palace and Big Ben. It's about knowing when to go, where to stay, and how to avoid all the pitfalls that most travelers hit. If any of this helped you rewire how you see London, please hit like and subscribe. And if you want the best way to experience the city, all of our guided tours are linked below. Trust me, they're worth it.